And we'll get the stream started right after the ad break. It's Whiskey Wednesday. Man, I'm liking this music in the background right now. It's got a nice little groove to it. Exactly what I need right now. I don't know. I'm enjoying the vibe, so I'm not going to turn it down. Unless it's distracting you, then you let me know. When we get reading, we'll turn it down. We'll turn it down. It'll be okay. We're going to soak it up right now. It's pretty nice. Tonight, Whiskey Wednesday, and if you're looking down below right there, you'll see what we're reading and who it's by. Connected by Blood and Keys by TJ Smith. Let me give you a little bit of stuff there on the author and the story that we'll be reading tonight. Fantastic story. Had a chance to pre-read it this time. I actually did my homework before I got into it, and it's really good. I actually enjoyed it. A little bit of lore kind of up front to build a little bit of the universe around it, and then we jump right into chapter 1. So I think this one's going to be good. Stay tuned for it. It's fantastic. Got yourself a killer little story there, Mr. TJ Smith. Where you can buy it is on you can buy it on the Zon, right? You type that in. It's available there, or you can go directly to the website, link right there below, and click on that bad mamba jamba and purchase yourself a copy. It's pretty good. I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks for joining me there, Mama. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Check out Mama's channel too, writer. And we featured some of her stories actually on a Macabre Monday that we did, and they were both fantastic. So highly encourage you to check out those works by Mama. And let us know when those are available too. Like if you ever put them into like a compendium or something like that, pick them up, you know, support, do the support thing. Whiskey Wednesday wouldn't be complete without drinking a little bit of whiskey. We're doing the Irish theme this month, if you couldn't tell. That's kind of the new theme next month. You know, there's the challenge coming up with the themes. But this is what we're drinking tonight. Boom! Had it ready. Jameson, again, but their Caskmates Stout Edition, which is hopefully pretty good. We're going to see. The cold brew, it was okay. The cold brew one was okay. Really good with coffee, though, because it's already got that kind of coffee flavor to it. If you're doing like an Irish coffee with it, fantastic. So there's that. So this one, hopefully, I like the first one, though, that we did. That was the, I can't remember, and I don't have it in here, but it was, the IPA barrel one. That one was actually pretty good. So I'm excited for this one, the Stout Edition, as we do a little pour in the pour cam here. give ourselves a healthy pour. Not too much. I gotta get going on an audiobook after this, so can't enjoy Whiskey Wednesday too much, you know what I mean? Can you enjoy it too much? Yeah, you can. You definitely can. Alrighty, let's give this a sniff. Ooh, smells really good, and you definitely do pick up a hint of that stout barrel that it was finished in. That's good. That's really good. It's way smoother than I'm used to for Jameson. Wow. Okay. I've been surprised this month with Jameson's different special brews, special blends. Huh. Interesting. I would and will drink this. Very smooth, very sweet. There's nothing harsh or unpleasant about it. It's just a nice Irish whiskey. Definitely that hint of the stout barrel in the end there, though. So if you're a fan of stouts as well, you'll really enjoy that. It's real slight, though. Real slight. More in the aroma, but a little bit in the flavor there at the very end. Anyways, let's get into talking about some book stuff, shall we? We shall. So let me pull up the actual bio here of the book. Not bio of the book. The synopsis of the book. Read a little bit about this so we know what we're jumping into here. So, connected by blood and keys in the gifted blood universe. So I'm guessing this is kind of a series or in a universe of books that had either come out or will come out. Hopefully, if they're not written yet, they are soon, and we can pick ourselves up some copies of them. But this will be written by T.J. Smith. A little bit about the book. Tyler Asoron has lived the simplest life a 17-year-old orphan can, raised by his aunt Rebecca and uncle Ryan. He often wonders what life would have been like knowing his birth parents, but it's not a topic Rebecca visits often. With high school graduation approaching, the time felt fitting to uncover the mystery. But Tyler is given more than he bargained for when the unexpected arrival of the Scotler family, former friends of his parents, comes to town. We're going to stop there, and I'll let you read the rest, but we don't get much past chapter 1, so the rest of this will kind of be spoilers for the rest of the story that we're not even going to get to, unfortunately, tonight. But it's a good start, and I think it does pique curiosity fairly well and wants to get you into the rest of it, which is what a good chapter 1 should do. What a good chapter 1 should do. All right, let me turn down the music here. Actually, let me just stop the music altogether, and let's jump into the booth, shall we? Because we all got things to do. We came here to listen to some reading, didn't we? All right, good. Let's jump into it. Here we go.
My God, are you still talking?
I am still talking, but I'm going to the booth. I promise. I'll meet you there. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. You know what? That's interesting. That is interesting. That is very interesting. I think I know what happened. I will be right back, because otherwise I won't be able to talk to you all if you're saying anything. So I'll be right back. I promise. I'll be right back. I know what happened. My computer decided to, yeah. So let me do this real quick. This is going to be a duplicate of 1. Oh, man. I just jack everything up. Okay. I think we're good. All right, I think we're good. All right. I don't... Oh, man. But I... Okay. Why did that happen? Okay. Apply that. Hopefully that doesn't jack everything up. That looks right. That looks right. Okay, cool. All right. Sorry. All right. I gotta be able to see if you're saying stuff to me while I'm in the booth. So had to switch that real quick. My apologies. Okay, that's up again. All right. Okay. All right. Hopefully that doesn't end. Whew. All right. Log into this bad mamba jamba. Boop, boop. Okay. And scroll back up to the top. All right, here we go. All right, let me do a quick little sound check-a-maroony. And scroll back. All right, cool. We're definitely streaming. Okay, good. Oh, just making sure. Okay. Let's take a little sip of the whiskey here and step into it. For those of you watching live, you can keep me accountable by typing in exclamation point flub, F-L-U-B, every time that I mess up. Let's reset that flub counter. There we go. And then you can add one by typing that in, or I can manually add one right there that hopefully you see on your chat window. And just kind of a fun little way that we can kind of be interactive with the chat there. And as I make a mistake, one of my mods likes to turn that into a drinking game. I'll just say, sometimes I make a lot of mistakes. So drink responsibly if that's something that you do here. Gifted Blood Universe. Hi, welcome to YouTube. That's a strikingly interesting name. Could you be in some way related to the book, Connected by Blood and Keys? Could be a coincidence. But hello. Nevertheless, we're going to be doing a live read here in just a second. After I get this all set up. Alrighty, and to go over some quick things right before we jump in, there are ad breaks that come up on Twitch. You'll hear the Old Spice jingle when that's about to happen. And what I'll do is I'll pause the narration until we come back from the ad break, just so that if you're on Twitch, you don't miss anything. If you're on YouTube, we'll just we'll shoot the breeze for a second. And then when the ad break's over, we'll get back to the story. All right. So let's start this thing up like Windows 95, shall we? All right. Connected by Blood and Keys, a novel by T.J. Smith. Okay. And here's the introduction first before we get into Chapter 1. Proem 1. Enter the universe, or I enter the universe. Create, destroy, protect. The keys to the power of the Source, gifted in nature but isolated in existence. The Source birthed a universe of creations through power and blood, filling the void with an array of life. But this did not satisfy the chasm. The Source decided to relinquish its power and bestow gifts to 3 daughters: Asha, the gift of creation; Ane, the peculiar gift of destruction; and Anaya, the gift of protection, thus ending the physical form of the Source. Filled with gratitude for their Creator's sacrifice, the eldest daughter, Asha, with her sisters, continued to bring life to the cosmos, destined to be the original mothers. Asha spawned the first new generation of gifted blood, harboring the blood from the mother of creation and the strands of power from the Source. The gifted bloodline became royalty, Vasilikos. However, gifted blood cannot be contained. An anomaly was born in the form of Gemini in each generation, the connected key. Twins gifted by blood to access the combined power of the Source. In fear for her creations and an echo of the past, Asha and Anaya forged beings of protection and guidance for the Gemini-born blood, Alexos. In admiration and envy of her sister's born blood, stricken with the milestone of destruction, the third sister, Ane, pleaded with Asha to aid in giving her son a singularity amongst singularities. Through pity and love for her sister, a son was born to the mother of destruction. Unruly and just, the son of destruction yearned to be amongst the royals. Through study, came unforeseen knowledge. Through knowledge, the unforeseen manifestation of power in the spoken tongue of the texts. Thus, the son was destined to be charmed, the first magi. All right, we'll stop there. We're going to enter in, I wonder, only the universe knows. All right. Well, I think we got our answer there. Welcome, welcome. So if you have any questions about the writing for the author, maybe I can get you an answer. So ask away. And if you ask in Twitch, I'll relay it to YouTube so that you know. Hey there on YouTube. I'm excited to hear this, says Mama. All right. Well, let's dive into it, shall we? Here we go. Chapter 1, The Morning Air. The dewy mist of the cool morning air blanketed the streets, sheltering those in it from their own thoughts and sight, a haven from or a danger to themselves. The crisp air was chilled enough to bite at any bare skin it encountered, cling to every surface it touched, streaking down window panes, blades of grass, and cars left outside to its will. The occasional glare of passing headlights broke through its thick weight on the world, the refracting illumination flashing before the eyes of Tyler Asoron as he jogged down the quiet road. Tyler was dark-haired, with big, bright brown eyes that sat behind solid frame spectacles that accompanied his sharp facial structure. The early morning air bit at his lips as it entered his mouth, numbing his heavy breath and chilling the gathered beads of sweat on his brow. His stride was steady, a typical pace for a morning run before his guardians, Aunt Rebecca and Uncle Ryan, awoke. Tyler never knew his birth parents. Though he was orphaned before he could remember, his aunt only spoke of how she welcomed the two best decisions she ever made into her life. The first was deciding to raise Tyler after the sudden death of his parents, Aidan and Alana Asoron, a subject she didn't often revisit. The second decision was to marry the man she met while raising a toddler, Ryan Peters. Tyler still had vague memories of their wedding day and eating cake swirling in the back of his mind as he picked up his pace. As Tyler jogged, the cold touch of his damp clothes was starting to get to him. Jogging in cool weather and being hot or at very least warm was one thing, but damp clothes meant the chilled air could bite. Luckily, he was approaching home. The mist seemed to part for him as he quickened pace, eager to reach the finish line. Until finally, he was home. Even though Tyler's momentum stopped, his heart hadn't quite caught up. His breath was heavy but slowing. He succumbed to the cold air, allowing it to cool and calm him. The beads of sweat on his brow, now fully realized droplets, slid down the sides of his face. Tyler slowly approached the front porch, ascending its steps and reaching for the keys in his pocket before an unusual sight at his feet caught his eye. A mysterious package. He looked down to see an unmarked box. A delivery this early? With a mix of curiosity and caution, he bent down to examine it. The parcel was oblong, black with white ends. Gently lifting it, Tyler felt its unexpected weight. The moment he palmed the box, a sudden crawling cold chill surged through him. His eyes shot to his surroundings as he stood as if someone were watching him. A lurking neighbor or wandering passerby, perhaps. But to his surprise, the air was still. Curious about who might have sent such an early delivery, Tyler turned the box, searching for a label, only to find the unexpected yet again, as there was only a vague word on the reverse side. In bold lettering, it read, "Fragile," with no sender details. Tyler used one of his keys to pierce the taped edge of the box, pulling it open. To his relief and surprise, there was an elegant bottle of wine inside. Its label was adorned with a hand-painted script, indecipherable yet intriguing. He traced over the unfamiliar words and symbols. There was no note, still no indication of who might have sent the box. As Tyler held the bottle, a strange feeling crept over him again. A sense of connection to a distant place or time, a hint of wariness accompanying the feeling. This was a personal delivery. It was then that Tyler recalled the flash of headlights during his run. The lights must have belonged to a delivery truck. though the fog was too thick to be certain. Putting the box beneath his arm, hugging against his ribs, he fumbled with the keys for a moment before reaching for the doorknob. Just as he did, its locks clicked and the door swung open. Standing behind it was his Aunt Rebecca, wide-eyed. She seemed to be just as surprised to see Tyler as he was her. They stared at each other for a moment, Rebecca brushing her fingers through her tousled brunette locks. "Tyler," she said with a drowsy voice, stepping aside. Tyler stepped inside, stuffing his keys back into his pocket. "Morning, Rebecca." Rebecca wiped her eyes, smiling. She looked more tired than usual, her eyes carrying the weight of the night beneath them, and her skin devoid of hydration. "How was your run, honey?" "It was good," Tyler replied with a worried gaze, holding the box out. Rebecca's gaze fell to it, slowly taking the parcel from his hands. "Oh, it finally came. Thank you, Ty." She jingled the box slightly beside her head, as if she'd just won a prize. "Where's the bottle from this time?" Rebecca let out a sigh, furrowing her brow for a moment as she turned the black box. "Spain, I think." Tyler's eyes widened. "Cool. Could I try some?" Rebecca smacked her tongue hard, cocking her head with sharp eyes. Kidding. I'm going to go shower and get ready. Maybe you can get back to sleep before Uncle Ryan wakes up," Tyler said slowly, backing away from Rebecca in surrender. He glanced over to the wall of wine bottles, a collection his aunt and uncle nursed to health over the years. Most were empty or nearly empty, fine reds and smooth whites. His guardians say, and a few others Tyler wasn't sure about. All from different places around the world, and further, it seemed. "Does Spain have anything to do with my parents?" The words hung in the air for an eternity. "No, they never had a chance to go." Rebecca's voice was almost a whisper, the weight of sorrow barely concealed beneath the surface. Her vulnerability clear to Tyler. He wished he could retract the question. It was too early in the day, or too bold of a question. Still, he promised himself to say what was on his mind. Ask the difficult questions to get the truth. He wasn't a kid anymore. Before he could apologize, Rebecca closed the door, her head low as he approached the wall of wine. Tyler drew a deep breath, steadying himself on the staircase, his words hovering on the brink of being spoken but dissolving into a silent sigh as he watched his aunt. He swallowed hard, his unasked questions retreating into the shadows of his mind, as he chose instead the safety of the unspoken over the risk of disturbing the balance. "Not yet." "Hope you can even find a spot for it," he said as he darted up the staircase. By the time Tyler reached the bottom of the stairs again, it was clear the quiet morning was no more. Everything and everyone had awakened, except for the sun, of course. It hadn't been seen clearly for nearly 2 months now. Its rays were filtered, dimmed by the looming dark clouds, the cause for the misty mornings. The amount of sunlight that made it through the window shades filled the space as best it could, enough to signal the start of morning. "Tyler, hurry or you'll be late meeting Kyle." Excuse me, sorry. Let's try that line again as I choke. "Tyler, hurry or you'll be late meeting Kyle," Rebecca said, entering from the kitchen with newfound vivacity. Her smile was wide, brunette locks tamed, and she carried a plate of distinct-smelling food. Placing it before Tyler as she sat down, Tyler crammed the sweater over his shoulder onto his school bag before tossing it beside his seat at the table. After all the years Tyler spent with his aunt and uncle, the morning routine had never changed. Breakfast, small talk, and rides to school. Often he wondered what life would have been like were his parents still alive. Tyler flopped himself onto the chair at the dining table, wasting no time beginning to stuff his face when he saw Rebecca's famous scrambled eggs and bacon. His Uncle Ryan sat at the head of the table, hidden behind an open newspaper. "Slow down there, Ty. I'm sure Kyle will wait for you." He peeked out from behind the pages. "Have you given any more thought to that internship we talked about?" It was the opportunity of a lifetime for some. his uncle offering him a summer internship at the medical company he worked for. Tyler paused, mid-bite. He had given it more thought, but hadn't landed on a decision. Ryan was the life flight director and the head pilot at the company. Tyler had flown with him a few times over the years, but even though he enjoyed it, Tyler wasn't sure it'd be something he would want to do as a career. He wasn't sure if he wanted a career at all. Ever since he could remember, Tyler had an unquenchable thirst for the world beyond this hometown's familiar borders. The path to a conventional career laid out before him like a map everyone else seemed eager to follow felt constricting, almost suffocating. The thought of studying abroad, of the unknown, made him stir up with excitement. The call of wanderlust and learning under foreign skies, all alluring. With graduation looming, the pressure was on to decide. Tyler stared at his uncle, mouth full of eggs, swallowing the bite before answering. "I'll think about it some more today." Ryan slowly nodded and returned to the newspaper. Before the anxiety could mount as Tyler's mind could escape to the land of expectations, a bold story on the front page of the paper his uncle held up caught his attention. Animals found dead. "What's the story on the dead animals?" Ryan flipped the newspaper in half. "Something about a few dead animals in the woods. Probably a bear that didn't quite make it to hibernation yet." Tyler nodded slightly. It was possible, but for something like that to make the front page or even happen in their town was unusual. But before Tyler could pry for more of the details, he suddenly felt firm palms squeezing his shoulders. "There's no rush to decide on your future. You have plenty of time," Rebecca said, smiling. "Are you and Kyle getting excited for graduation?" It was just what Tyler needed to hear. He wiped his mouth, nodding and smiling up at her. "We're both excited. Kyle is even giving a speech." "Well then, should be quite the speech, I'm sure. Are you helping him write it?" Tyler continued nodding as he stood from the counter, pushing away the empty plate. "Come on, I'll take you to school," Rebecca added. "And speaking of life decisions, it's about time I got a car. Don't you agree?" Rebecca and Ryan burst into short but piercing laughter just before Tyler could finish his sentence. A likely reaction. This wasn't the first time Tyler broached the subject. He recalled countless conversations, his well-seasoned arguments about freedom, responsibility, and convenience, all met with the same chuckles. Each laugh felt like a gentle pat on the head, a nonverbal, "No, not yet. It's too dangerous." Nevertheless, ever since Tyler got his license, he has tried to convince his aunt and uncle that, like most of the other teens at school, he was ready to drive his own car. "Hey, I'm serious this time. I'll be graduating soon. It's time." "We'll discuss it." Rebecca headed for the front door. "Ryan, don't forget to chill the new bottle of wine today. We've been expecting this one for a while." By the time Rebecca pulled into the parking lot of school, Tyler's mind hadn't quite left the awkward interaction earlier in the morning, unsure if it warranted an apology. "Got everything you need?" Rebecca asked, pulling Tyler from his thoughts. "Don't worry, I've got everything," he replied, closing the car door behind him. "I love you. Promise we'll discuss the car thing? I don't think you and Ryan will want to drive me around my entire life. Besides, I can help pay for it. Maybe get a summer job?" Rebecca let down the window, smiling, and nodded. "Yes, I promise. We'll discuss it. Get going. I'm sure Kyle is waiting." Tyler smiled back, taking off in a sprint towards the school football field. As he approached the bleachers, he was relieved to see Kyle still patiently waiting for him, tossing a football in the air as he did. "You're late again," he said as Tyler climbed over a few rows of seats and sat beside him. "Sorry, man, weird morning. How was practice?" "Well, finally showed Coach my perfect throw. The other guys weren't impressed." "Perfect throw, huh?" Kyle nodded. "Yeah, when the velocity and trajectory are just right, I can—" Tyler shook his head. "Too smart for your own good." "I can't help it. If Coach and the others just listened—" And we'll pause right there as we get ready for the ad break on Twitch, and we'll resume the story right afterwards. So hopefully you're enjoying the story so far. I really like the world kind of building in the beginning, in the kind of introduction, prologue-ish kind of area before chapter 1 that we started with. That little like hint that there's more coming, there's more world building kind of already as we jump into the story is really cool. I like that. I'm a sucker for like fantasy and science fiction and anything kind of world building myself. So it's just kind of cool to see. So good story here, TJ Smith. I'm loving it so far. Hopefully you are too. And remember, if you all want to pick yourself up a copy, there's the information about the author and the book and where you can go. If you don't want to buy it on Amazon, there's other places you can buy it, like directly off that website right there in the link below. Let me catch up with any chat here that I may have missed. I think we're good. I think, whoa, as I'm clicking on stuff. Okay. Our ad break ends here in about 12 seconds. We'll stop sipping our whiskey and get back into it. All right. And ad break over. Welcome back, everybody. All right. We'll continue with that last line and keep going. Hope you're enjoying it so far. I can't help it. If Coach and the others just listened. Tyler laughed. He admired Kyle's ambition, always striving to do better and make improvements. You'll get it. You're right, man. I get it. You're right, man. Anyway, Ty, what's up with you? Still having those wild dreams? Tyler's gaze fell. How could he forget what kept him up most of the night for the last 2 months? Swept into the same vivid dream night after night, soaring high above the ground with the freedom of a bird gliding through the boundless sky, the world below blanketed by puffs of clouds, then the emergence of an island in the distance, the world opening to blue water below, captivating in isolated beauty. But a jarring shift suddenly occurs. The flight transforms into despair, as if his wings were suddenly clipped, sending him plummeting towards the open water. Each time waking just before impact, heart racing, the lingering echo still present. I'm not sure what they mean. Tyler looked down into the distance as he recalled the scenes, the tangible weight of his subconscious lingering from the shadows of his mind. Anyway, that wasn't even the strangest thing that's happened today. Kyle shook his head in silence, no longer tossing the football. What happened? You've seen the wall of wine, right? Well, when I got back from my run this morning, there was a new bottle at the front door. Kyle started tossing the football again. Okay, that's not very strange. Just wait. The box was unmarked, so I opened it. When I did, I got a weird feeling. Kyle's interest was piqued again as he stopped tossing. Weird feeling? I don't know how to explain it, just weird. When I gave the box to Rebecca, she said it was from Spain, so I asked if Spain had anything to do with my parents. Kyle shook his head. Ty, you know how she gets when it comes to them? Tyler knew he was right. He did know. It just came out. She didn't say much, just that they never got the chance to visit. Tyler sat back, letting out a sigh. I just want to know the truth. I get it, and I'm sorry, Ty. Kyle replied, stuffing the football into his bag before standing. We better get going, or we'll be late. The bell sounded for the day as Tyler and Kyle entered the main hall. I'll catch up with you later, Kyle shouted, jogging down the hall. Tyler walked the school's bustling halls as the students crisscrossed his path. That was one thing Tyler wouldn't miss about high school, all the organized chaos. A perk of being a senior this year meant not having a full schedule every day. Instead of rushing to a classroom, Tyler went to the study hall. Just because he didn't have a class didn't mean he couldn't study, but more importantly, there were computers in the study hall, and Tyler had a sneaking suspicion that there was more to the dead animals found in the woods that he wasn't quite ready to let go. As he entered, Tyler quickly spotted an open chair at a computer and sat down. "And just like that, you're going to walk past and not say hello?" a familiar voice said from behind. Tyler spun to see the school's librarian and hall supervisor. "Oh, sorry, Miss Frankel. I just needed to get researching something." "Of course you did. No Kyle today?" "Nope, just me." He and Kyle frequented the study area, making it a regular hangout whenever they could, which meant Tyler and Kyle were familiar, friendly faces. But that was all changing now that he and Kyle were graduating. "Okay, well, I hope to see you both here soon, at least before graduation." Tyler nodded with a smile as Miss Frankel continued with a stack of books to her desk. As he turned back to the computer screen, he caught a glimpse of a nearby student standing at a bookcase, a student who looked to be a few years older than Tyler, about 19 or so, in any case too old to be in a high school library. He was tall, with short blonde hair, pale skin, and strikingly gold-hued eyes. Their eyes met in the moment, and Tyler saw a small smile form at the corner of the boy's mouth. He replied with a slight nod and returned to the screen. It didn't take long to find the headline after a quick search. "Animals Found Dead." Tyler began reading the article. A hiker wandered out of the woods to find help after finding carcasses on Olympus Trail, Olympus Cove wildlife officials said. The trail wasn't far from town. Tyler was familiar with it, north of the new housing development. A group of friends set out on an early morning hike to Ole Falls, the chief of the wildlife department said in a news release. They lost their way during the trek, forcing the group to spend the night in the cold woods, wildlife officials said. The next day, one member of the group wandered outside of the camp, discovering the trail and with it, the dead animals. Panicked, the man then found his way out of the woods without his friends to find help, officials said. Rescuers began searching the area and discovered over a dozen animal carcasses in the woods, seemingly drained of their blood. Wildlife officials said the animals were fatally injured. According to reports, the attack was most likely a larger predator. The area is currently under further investigation. Caution is in place for locals on hiking trails as the whereabouts of the predatory animal are still unknown and is presumed to be a danger to people. Drained of blood. The words lingered in Tyler's head. What kind of predator would drain blood from an animal? As he continued questioning his thoughts, Tyler suddenly felt a presence behind him. Another crawling, cold chill surged through him. His head spun to where he saw the other person in the room before, and then to the front desk where Miss Frankel sat. But the boy at the bookcase and Miss Frankel were gone. Tyler cautiously returned to the screen. At the bottom of the article was an email and phone number for questions. Tyler quickly noted the details in his phone and logged out from the computer. He needed to talk to Kyle. And there we will end. Chapter 1 is now officially over. That was Connected by Blood and Keys, Chapter 1, by T.J. Smith. So one more time, I'll plug the author and the book information there. If you're interested in picking yourself up a copy, please do so. There's a link down below. You can find it on Amazon or on the link that he provides as well, down there at the bottom if you want to buy it directly off the website. I liked it. I hope you guys liked it. What'd you guys think? You have any questions for the author while I have them? Mama Redneck says, wow, now I have to get this. You do? It's pretty good, huh? It's pretty good. And I think, as it says in the synopsis, if you read a little bit of that, we're going to get into vampire territory, which I like. I'm a fan of vampires. My wife, super big fan of vampires. So she might want to check this book out, actually. So I might push it her way for a next read. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Author TJ, fantastic job. Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you for being brave enough to submit your first chapter. that we could read it. I really did enjoy reading it. Thank you so much. It was a really fun read. Killer cover too. Yeah, really good cover, huh? I like, since I got into audiobook narrating, that's kind of one thing that's interesting to me is comparing all the different book covers and how different genres trend. There seems to be like patterns and trends in each genre, and it's kind of interesting. You can almost see like a pattern through decades, and you can almost tell what a book is without looking at any of the words or the titles by looking at the not always, but a lot of times you can tell kind of what genre it is just by looking at the cover. There's some really cool covers out there too, especially in fantasy. Hey, Christy, thanks for joining. Christy, also a writer in the community, and if I can remember to do this right, of course I didn't do it right. No, stop. There we go. There you go. Check out Christy's channel too on Twitch. Fantastic writer. Does a lot of sprints in the morning, and I try to join in and do the narrator voice actor equivalent of sprinting, which is usually going through mountains of email and responding to people, and doing all that other social media stuff in the morning. So it's great. It's great. Chill vibes. Check her out. Hot dog. It's in my Kindle list now. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. Fantastic book. I'll definitely be reading the rest of it later. That's for sure. It's one of those that go on the list. Like, oh, wait, that one next. I mean, I've got a mountain of books I need to finish, and it doesn't help that we started doing this Whiskey Wednesday thing and reading these first chapters because I have a lot of books to get through, which is a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have, right? Let's go back to the desk and do the end of the stream stuff and maybe pass you off to another reader. Here we go. Back to the desk. Alrighty. Back to the desk indeed. Thank you for the shout. You are welcome. Most definitely welcome there, Christy. Yeah, so follow-up stuff for you. It looks like next Whiskey Wednesday, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a Macabre Monday this week. I might cash in that time to try to get the live stream going from my new booth that I'm recording all my audiobooks in now. I almost have it working. I have the video working, but I can't get the sound to work. It's baffling me, but I'll figure it out. And when I do, we'll have a live stream when we step into the booth. It'll be a legitimate booth, and we can do live recordings at the same time that we do the stream. So we can do it realistic audiobook style, which will be really cool. Like we can do the Whiskey Wednesday thing where we're not only reading a first chapter, but we can create a demo live on the spot. Fully, almost fully produced. You have to do a little bit of mastering afterwards, but we could almost produce the whole thing right there, which would be really cool, I think. Like, it gives kind of another, like, insight into how it all works, right? Up next, though, will be... it's April. Our theme changes in April. And we're going to have a book, A Part of the World, by R.M. Berenstain. If I'm saying that right. Which will be fantastic as well, I'm sure. So that'll be next Wednesday. I am also going to be out of the country that following week. So I'll be going on the Audiobooks at Sea cruise around the Caribbean. It's a cruise that they put on for audiobook narrators and voice actors, where during the cruise you get workshops from some of the best audiobook and acting coaches you can get. And you get small group workshops to really work on stuff that you want to work on, improve your acting and your, ability to do what you do, right? I'm super excited about it. And then plus you're in the Caribbean, right? Like that's cool too, right? You're on a cruise, which is also fun. So I'll be taking my +1, my wife, along, and we'll be doing the cruise thing and training and getting better at the craft. So I'm super excited about it. There are some very, very talented coaches that are very hard to get time on their schedules. So it's really cool in that respect. So we'll be taking a week off, so there will be no Whiskey Wednesday after the next Whiskey Wednesday, and then we'll resume the schedule thereafter. So just some quick notes about the upcoming streams. Super excited. Love supporting our Twitch writers. Absolutely. Supporting our Twitch writers is the key. It is the key, and that's what this channel that I started is all about too. So I got to reach out to more like on, Twitch writers and get more of their stuff out there too as well. Because I've been just doing the reach out to social media to gather in people, but we should spread the love around Twitch as well. We should, right? And we will. That's great. That's a great reason to go on cruise. Yeah, and it's it's kind of a tax write-off too at the end of the day, right? So I can justify it monetarily that way too. Our vacation this year will be that. We'll be going on a cruise. So there you go. All right. One last plug there for you for anybody else watching the VOD later or anybody in the YouTube channel right now. Check out the book that we just read, Connected by Blood and Keys by TJ Smith. Fantastic read. And I think you should pick it up because it's good. All right, let's pass off the love to another streamer here. Let's go to Neff. I enjoy going to Neff. I believe he's reading today. He looks like he might be taking a short break. But we're going to go in there and we're going to raid and share the love on Twitch at least. On YouTube, goodbye. This will be the end. I'll talk to you all next time. Next Monday, and if not, next Wednesday, 6 p.m. PST, as always, as we read another chapter for Whiskey Wednesday. See you then. Thanks, everybody. Mm-hmm.